Superman fans, to your speeding bulletin for the week January 11th to January 17th, 2013. A week which saw Henry Cavill hit the red carpet at the Critics' Choice Awards, information on a Man of Steel statue coming in May, and a death battle between Goku and Superman. Let's jump in and take a look. In movie news, Henry Cavill presented a couple of awards at the 2013 Critics' Choice Awards last week. Henry took to the red carpet beforehand with new girlfriend actress Gina Carano. Henry's Man of Steel co-star Amy Adams was also in attendance and joined Henry and Gina for a few photos. Reels.com spoke on camera with Russell Crowe to discuss his new film Broken City, but also asked him about his role as Jor-El in Man of Steel. Russell spoke about the complexity of the film, what it would be like to be Superman, the size of the sets he worked on, and said this about the special effects.
You realise that this Superman is not just, floating through the air, held up by a wire. I mean, this Superman is supersonic. When he decides to fly, he doesn't muck around. So,
Warner Home Video released the following short video interview with Mark Valley, who voices the role of Superman in The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. He speaks about the virtue of playing a superhero. Take a look.
I'm eating it up. I'm having a great time. It's fun to play a hero, but I love to be able to put a little bit of irreverence in there, or throw a little bit of humanity into it, or a little bit of, maybe sarcasm or irony or something like that. It's kind of fun to see, who these people are with these immense abilities and huge responsibilities, but still they have time to kind of have fun with it.
You can pre-order The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 on Blu-ray and DVD from our online store. One on One is the title of a Superman fan film that was recently brought to our attention, and it's definitely worth a watch. In this short film, Sarah, a runaway teenager in the city of Metropolis, encounters a persistent newspaper reporter named Clark Kent, who won't leave her alone until she agrees to an interview for his newspaper column. Check it out at the Superman homepage now. In TV news, Superman homepage writer Isaac Frisby has updated our Young Justice animated series episode guide with a summary of the most recent Season 2 episode, Cornered. Isaac has also written his review of this episode, giving it a 2 out of 5, saying it spent an entire episode setting us up for a reveal that we've known about for a while. Cartoon Network and DC Entertainment released the episode description for True Colors, the upcoming new episode of the Young Justice Invasion animated series. In this episode, the Reach partner with LexCorp, prompting Robin to get to the bottom of the new alliance. True Colors airs on Saturday, January 19th at 10:30 AM on Cartoon Network. In comic book news, DC Comics released their April 2013 solicitations this week, and we highlighted for you all the Superman-related comics and products listed. Of special note was Action Comics 19, in which Lex Luthor is in jail and his battlesuit is back in action. But if he's not wearing it, who is? Also of special note was the Man of Steel Superman 1/6 scale iconic statue, which will be available in May. Check out the complete Superman April solicitations at the website now. DC Comics SVP of Sales Bob Wayne told comicbookresources.com that they're planning on big sales in conjunction with the release of Man of Steel. He said, "You'll see some of the key Superman titles we'll be promoting and talking about in the next month or so. We think those titles will do really well, especially ones that have any type of thematic or representational linkage into Man of Steel." Comixology.com announced the winners in their second annual Comixologist Choice Awards, with fan votes on their favourite comic books across a range of categories having been tallied. We're happy to announce that the fans voted Smallville Season 11 as their favourite digital first series. Congratulations to Brian Q. Miller. Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Action Comics number 16, which was reviewed by Michael Bailey, who gave it a 4 out of 5, saying, "Hated it on the first read, liked it on the second." Mark Pritchard reviewed Smallville Season 11, Chapter 29, saying, "We've got a bunch of information in this episode, some of it baffling, a little bit of it cool, and most of it neither," and he gave it a 4 out of 5 rating. Superman comics available this week from January 16th include Superboy number 16, Injustice number 1 digital comic, Smallville Season 11 Chapter 30 digital comic is available January 18th, and Superman Beyond number 13 digital comic is available January 19th. Plug in these USB accessories to turn your computer into the ultimate superpowered device. like these 4GB Superman logo USB cufflinks available for $128. Or grab yourself a Superman 4GB rubber USB flash drive for just $18.50. These and other great Superman USB accessories available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. Now the news. Jeff Trexler, legal expert and friend of the Superman homepage, joined us on Radio KAL Live on Monday night to explain the recent court decision ruling in favour of Warner Brothers over the rights to Superman. It's well worth a listen if you weren't able to tune in live to the show. Warner Brothers sent out a prepared statement about the win, saying the court's decision paves the way for the Siegels family to receive the compensation they negotiated for and which DC has been prepared to pay for over a decade. We are extremely pleased that Superman's adventures can continue to be enjoyed across all media platforms worldwide for generations to come. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment and DC Entertainment this week revealed details for the Injustice Gods Among Us Battle Edition. The package will be available in North America beginning April 16th for Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3 and the Wii U system for Nintendo, and will retail for $149.99 and will include the game disc exclusive Injustice Gods Among Us Fight Stick featuring official artwork from the game and 3 exclusive skins based on Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman. ScrewAttack.com released the results of the death battle Goku vs Superman. The ultimate answer to the ultimate question. 2 alien saviors battle to the death, one will win, one will die. Check out the video now. The Superman homepage staff were consulted for this death battle and assisted with information and references for Superman's powers and abilities. However, we had no idea what the ultimate outcome of this battle would be, but we're happy with the result. Seems it's a month for online battles, as we now have a fanboy face-off between Superman and the Hulk. Who would win? Well, that's what Clever Movies want you to decide. To vote, visit their YouTube page and make a comment or tweet your vote using the hashtag CMFF on Twitter. And that's all the Superman news there was for the week January 11th to January 17th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Great Scott. I am Scotty V, and this is my show. I had the recent awesome experience. Finally, I know. I'm supposed to be a Superman fan, and I'm just getting around to this now. When did it come out? 14 years ago? I just watched Superman versus the Elite, and I must say, I thought it was fantastic. My favorite Superman movie to date of the animated series, and probably my favorite Superman movie in general. As I've expressed, obviously the movies that have been made are great for nostalgia. I love them for what they are. They'll always have a special place in my heart. I thought Superman Returns, for all its story flaws, for all its issues, was still the most complete Superman movie that we've had. That really felt like Superman. There were some issues, obviously, but it wasn't as campy. There was still some camp. You still had the Lex Luthor campy, goofy kind of comedic spot that they put him in when he's just a human being and he's supposed to be Superman's most deadly, formidable enemy, and yet they kind of make him goofy. So if they bring him to the Man of Steel franchise at any point, I really hope that they do him justice and make him scary and formidable, and make people understand why just a human guy with a lot of money would have the ability to be Superman's enemy. No, he's not going to go toe-to-toe with him. He's not going to punch Superman around. But, although he did some of that in Superman Returns with the aid of Kryptonite. But he has other ways. He does things from behind the scenes. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. This is what I do sometimes. What I wanted to tell you about was Superman versus the Elite. Now, the 5 or 6 viewers that appreciate what I do, like to listen to what I have to say, have probably already seen this movie because, as I say, it came out so long ago. But if you haven't seen it, rush out right now. I don't care what time it is. I don't care what part of the world you're in. It could be 3 in the morning. It could be 6. It could be 10 at night. It could be 4 in the afternoon. You could be at work. It could be 9 in the morning. You know, you're supposed to work. Get on your phone. Get on your tablet. Get on your computer. Get on
go to the break room, whatever you have to do, and find a copy of this. Netflix has it. Superman versus the Elite. The voice acting is fantastic. It's George Newbern back from his days as Superman in Justice League, and he was never my favorite. I always liked Tim Daly, but in this movie, I think finally, after all these years of playing Superman, he's coming to his own, and I'm really appreciative of what he does. Maybe it's the material. Justice League wasn't that deep. This is I find this to be very deep, very emotional, very exciting, very dramatic, and George Newbern does a great job with it. Perry Paulette, I think is her name. Miss Paulette as Lois Lane, also very, very good. And what they do with Lois in this movie is so fantastic. She is a hero in her own right. She is a woman who can get things done. She's a woman who doesn't need Superman to make things right for her specifically. She goes about her job and she does what she's supposed to do. She helps Clark, and she's after the story. And she's a rival for Clark, even though they're in love with each other. I'm not giving anything away. You find that out in the first minute. She knows his identity, that kind of thing. But it is, I read the story years ago, and I remember, if I'm correct, I remember the cover. He's kind of standing there. It's a very realistic-looking cover. Maybe fire, redness, things around him. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, the American Way? And I've read some reviews about the Elite after I saw it, because I wanted to see what some other people think. And it seems like, though there seems to be kind of a universal understanding that people liked it, one thing that I was hearing was the biggest problem, most presumptuous problem, the most annoying problem with this story, and it started with the book, is that it presumes that Superman needs to be defended. Superman's integrity, Superman's goodness as a hero, why Superman is great, needed to be written for some reason. And I can understand that, especially as a fan. I don't believe that if you can't understand why Superman is the greatest, why we should all emulate his behavior, why he's my favorite, because of his integrity, his morality, and what he does and what he stands for, and because he won't step over that line like Wolverine might do and stab someone through the chest. I spoke about this a little last week. But the idea that because for this story, someone felt like they needed to explain why it's okay to be a Superman fan or why Superman is still cool after all these years. But I don't mind it, because I do know a lot of people who feel that way. I know a lot of people who say, Superman, he's so stupid, he won't even, do anything. He's got no, ability to finish the job. He's this, he's that. He's weak. He and if it wasn't for him, letting Lex Luthor get out of jail, letting this one get out of jail, that one get out of jail, people wouldn't be killed over and over again. However, he lives within the system, as we are all supposed to do. And if you don't live within the system, you're a criminal as well. I understand in some instances we do the death penalty, that kind of thing. But it's in the vein of following the system and then deciding what's going to be done with a criminal as we get there. And Superman follows that rule. But this movie, I had forgotten the story for the most part. And when we got to the end and I discovered where it was going to go and what was going to happen, I was flipping out. I was so excited. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. So I think that if you haven't seen this, you should definitely get out there, check it out. It's weird. The animation in a lot of spots is really, really good. Superman looks, awesome and regal, and then in other spots his chin looks like Jay Leno's, and Lois is kind of weird, and of course Manchester Black. The voice is great, and the whole feel of it is just fantastic. And then they have this weird opening where they have all these clips from every animated version of Superman, including the animated series, including the Fleischer cartoons, and they have this weird I don't know, dance rock type song. It's very interesting. And my wife, who watched it with me, also said she liked it, that it worked. I guess the idea is that since the film is kind of standing up for Superman, and the story is standing up for Superman, and saying that it's not all that odd to stand up for truth and justice, and in this case, the American way. To have all those clips and to have that kind of nostalgic feel to it, saying, "Look, this is what Superman has been. This is what he means." But he also gets things done. It's really great. So check it out, and remember, everybody, always look up in the sky.